Hi, this is my council update for Monday, May 18th, 2020. This was a big day for us on City Council. We've adopted our budget for fiscal year 21. I've said it all along, this is a budget that's going to be changing as new evidence and new information is presented to us, but we got it done, and it passed unanimously today out of City Council. The first thing I'll talk about is the committee of the whole agenda. So we had 4 items up on that agenda. It's a resolution to temporarily relocate the polling locations of Ward 3, Precinct 24 and Ward 3, Precinct 25 from Atwood Elementary to the Alfreda Schmidt Center for the August 4th primary. The reason we're doing that is the school district will have construction at Atwood, and those polling places need to be moved. The clerk is anticipating quite a bit of absentee or vote by mail participation in the August 4th primary, but we wanted to make sure that we had those polling locations moved in adequate time to give folks notice. And the Schmidt Center really has a great layout and a setup for in-person polling where social distancing may be necessary. The next item was the ordinance that I've talked about a little bit, changing how the Lansing Housing Commission works. That was passed out of committee and onto council. Then an ordinance for a Z9 2019. It was a rezone of 3440 Northeast Street from F commercial to G2 wholesale. This would have allowed a marijuana safety compliance facility to operate in that location. The other item is a resolution setting the public hearing on special land use permit 3-2020. That is for 610 North Capitol Avenue. It is the construction of the new Gannon ramp at the Lansing Community College Gannon building. You'll recall we had a couple issues related to this. One was the construction of a new ramp on Capitol Avenue at Shiawassee, and this was the reconstruction of the Gannon ramp. LCC has informed us that they will no longer be looking to build their second ramp. Rather, they're looking to build the Gannon ramp bigger. So rather than 3 stories that it is now, they're looking at 5 stories. I count this as a big victory for the downtown landscape, but also for walkability and the reduction of car usage downtown. LCC has really listened to public input and decided to go in a different direction, and I really thank them for that and thank everybody who helped work on that at public comment and behind the scenes. The other issue was the budget for 2021. As you know, it's a $140-ish million budget, $144 million budget. And with COVID-19 shutting down our state economy and the local economy all but completely, the numbers that we started with in February are drastically different today than they were then. Now, we know that the budget was due today to the mayor by charter. We are pleased to present that budget to him, although we do know that more work will be necessary as we continue discussions about what revenues come in, what revenues do not come in, state support, and any kind of federal support through a second round of CARES funding or through the HEROES Act. I know that Congresswoman Slotkin is working very hard in Washington to try and deliver some resources to the city of Lansing, and for that we're thankful. But for now, we have to adopt a budget that balances, and we've done that. And that was it from what we actually discussed. Now, in terms of what was in the budget, I've detailed that a little bit, but we made some changes this evening. Small items, but enough to really kind of put our stamp on it and demonstrate that we have looked at it, and we're looking at ways to reduce the expenditures where we see a little bit of opportunity to do that. City Council, we each took a $500 reduction in our annual expense account. Those are used mostly for community events, buying tickets to dinners and things like that support community functions and nonprofits and things around the city. Just to be clear on that, the ward members receive $1,500 and the at-large members receive $2,000. That was reduced to $1,000 and $1,500 respectively. We also eliminated some of the temporary help funding in our budget because we do have a new administrative assistant, so the need for temporary help is no longer there. And then we also reduced our community funding pot from $7,000 to $5,000. And the thinking behind that is many of those events that we support have been canceled or postponed, and we can add back if the revenue is there, but we don't anticipate it being there. The Neighborhood Citizen Engagement Department, we saw a reduction of $5,000 in their temporary helpline item. We reduced the neighborhood grant program by $20,000. There was a lot of discussion on this. We brought it back up to $80,000 from its original $100,000, and the proposed cut was $60,000. So the idea here is to continue with the Neighborhood in Bloom program and then a little bit of reduction in the neighborhood grant program. Economic Development Planning, we reduced by $42,000 in miscellaneous operating expenditures as well as some rent to the parking fund. We reduced the residency incentive program, which is known as LHOPE, to encourage city employees to purchase homes in the city, to $25,000 from its $50,000. Currently, we are at $24,000 spent for the fiscal year that we're currently in, so we believe that a $25,000 allocation on an annual basis should be sufficient. And then the employee recognition event was slated to cost $26,000, and that's various things throughout the year, but there's always a big event like the Lug Nuts game, or one year we opened up the zoo for the employees. We reduced that by $13,317, cutting it in half, knowing that probably there won't be a big outdoor type celebration, but maybe something can be done with those dollars yet. The Arts and Culture Grant was a lot of discussion, but we didn't end up reducing that at all, given that it does fund so many of our nonprofits that have been vital to our community. And then the remaining items were a $20,000 reduction, a $10,000 reduction, and another $10,000 reduction in the temporary helpline items for the mayor, the city clerk, and the law department. Council is considering mechanisms to reduce our pay, and that will require some research by the city attorney because statute, state and local, requires our pay to be decided by the elected officers' compensation commission. So we are looking into that to see how that might work, but we will report back on June 8th because our budget doesn't actually go into effect until June 30th, just to be clear. At council, we moved quickly through the meeting. We started a little late because Committee of the Whole went long. We heard from a couple members of the public in support of the arts. We did pass the resolution moving the polling place, as I mentioned, and the public hearing for the special land use permit for the Gannon ramp will be on June 8th at 7 p.m. We also passed the City of Lansing budget. It passed unanimously with Councilmember Jackson absent from that meeting. The remaining, the ordinance to change the Lansing Housing Commission passed as well unanimously, and then the rezone for the marijuana safety compliance facility did fail, 4-3, and our rules require 5 votes. So that will most likely be reconsidered at our next council meeting. After that, that was it. That's a very short update to tell you that a lot happened this evening. Continue to reach out to me regarding the budget. Continue to reach out to me regarding other city issues. The mayor made several announcements about event cancellations as well as the reinforcement of parking throughout the city and our parking ordinances as we look to sort of adjust what normal looks like in COVID-19 as we're on the upswing here. Now, we'll say we were expecting to have a presentation this evening from Linda Vail, the Ingham County Health Department official, who's been leading our efforts on COVID-19 here in Ingham County. We ran late at Committee of the Whole and ran into something else on her schedule. So we will look to have her back on June 8th, where she will provide council with an update on this. We continue to meet virtually, and we will do so until the governor lifts the order allowing that to take place. As you may have heard, this week she's announcing some easing of restrictions for northern parts of the state, but not yet down here in Lansing and Ingham County. So until then, I would encourage all of you to continue to stay home and stay safe. I know we've all got this. It's a trying time. It's very tempting to get out and do things differently now that the weather's starting to turn, although right now it's raining. But please, the best tool we have to fight COVID-19 in our community is those social distancing and isolation. So if you are able to stay home, do so and stay safe. Thank you and enjoy your week.